evening, everyone.
Recording in progress.
I would like to call to order the Hingham School Committee meeting of September 15th, 2025. I'm Michelle Ayer. I'm the Vice Chair of the School Committee, and our Chair, Jen Benham, is not available this evening to make our meeting, so I am taking over the duties as Chair, and then I think Ally's going to take over the motioning duties. Before we get started, I need to read the following statement. This meeting is being held remotely or in person as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025 and all other applicable laws, temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the Town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all participants of said recording. So we're recording for Harbor Media, with Harbor Media. All right. I don't see anybody else online. There's nobody, assuming Dr. Gallo is not. And we are all in attendance tonight in person: Matt Cosman, Tim Miller-Dempsey, Carrie Neat, and Ally Anderson. And I think John Mooney will be joining us. So with that, we are called to order. First order of business is approval of minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from August 18th, 2025.
I'll second.
All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, great.
And I will make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 27th, 2025.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right, great. Item number 3, questions and comments. I see Brian Stack is on. Dr. Gallo is here. Before I go through reading the whole statement, anyone online or in person looking to make public comment? All right, then we're going to move on to superintendent's report.
Terrific. Well, we've had much to celebrate over the past several days. So many of you joined us on Friday for the high school dock ribbon cutting, which was a terrific celebration, very well attended. And students were very eager to get in there and begin using the space. Wanted to share a particular note of thanks with the Hingham Sports Partnership for their philanthropic work and fundraising, networking, and seeing the project through to its completion. And this afternoon, many of us are joining straight from the Foster ribbon cutting ceremony, which was really a beautiful ceremony. Very gratified to formally recognize the completion of that project. And we had broad participation from students, staff, community members. Several retirees came back who had worked in the building. And so I wanted to share a special note of thanks to the members of the school building committee who have been at this since 2017. And Michelle was one of the representatives on that committee, and just volunteered so many hours over many years and shepherded this project to completion. And grateful as well to the MSBA and the citizens of the town for funding the project. And we're looking forward to seeing this innovative space being used and have a positive impact on our programming for many years to come. And then the other late-breaking, exciting news that we just found out over the weekend, wanted to congratulate Hingham High School for the second year in a row receiving the National Banner recognition from Special Olympics North America. Hingham High is one of only 17 schools in Massachusetts and only one of 217 schools nationwide to achieve this status for the inclusiveness of the program. We're grateful to our unified athletes, staff, volunteers, and administration of Hingham High School for playing key roles in creating a climate of inclusion and for continuing to grow and strengthen the impact of the unified program on school culture. So that was some great news. Yeah.
Is amazing. I think if I can just, this was like the week of and weekend of like why we do the work that we do, so it was really great. And I did hear so many people were so glad to have heard from the students today at Foster School, so whoever's idea that was, well done, because that was really very smart. The architect said, I've never seen a school include students, which seemed a little but he was like, I'm going to suggest this to other districts. This is a great idea.
Terrific.
Yeah,
I'm glad to
sounds
hear
great.
that.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions for Katie? No? All right. Communications. you have any communications?
Just the Special Olympics communication.
Also great
and I
news.
did share, yes.
That is also great news. Our student representative, Ariana, isn't here. That may be my fault because she may be thinking we're starting at 6:30. If she comes, we'll put her back on the agenda. Any other communications? Anyone? Nope. Okay. All right, then let's talk about old business. Item 6.1, to discuss the superintendent goals and act as appropriate. We previewed these on Saturday at our workshop. And then I believe you dropped the
Revised
goals in here.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I do think the process of goal setting works best when there are nested goals and that the school committee sets goals that align with the superintendent's goals and the administrative team and educators and so on. And so it's helpful to have a conversation as we're setting goals and priorities. As I mentioned to the school committee when we first took a look at these goals, for the last 3 years as a district, we've had a laser-like focus on literacy. And now it is math's turn. And so this year, we'll be getting what will be a similar 3-year process of piloting, adopting, and refining a new elementary math curriculum. One of the things that's particularly exciting about the program that we'll be adapting, it is actually a pre-K to 5 program, and very rich and robust and hands-on. And so grateful to our teachers who will be piloting that program for this year. And that will be the student learning goal. Every educator and administrator also sets what's known as a professional practice goal, which is about the growth of the individual educator or administrator. And so for that, I will, for the second year, be participating in the new superintendent's induction program. The topic for year 2 really is all about strategic plan implementation, and the timing is terrific, where we just wrote a strategic plan. We'll launch into the implementation of that 3-year plan. I appreciated the feedback of the committee during our workshop and rewrote district improvement goal number 1 to focus on two-way communication. And so that goal, as it implies, is focused on maintaining effective two-way communication channels between the district, the schools, staff, and families, and to continue to try to foster positive relationships, and not only with our students, staff, parents, and caregivers, but also with the broader community, our municipal partners. And as part of that, we do hope to message and showcase the district's portrait of a learner, which is important to message our innovative programs, student achievements, and also utilize communication strategies to effectively message what the needs of the district are as well with regard to budget, facilities, and operations. So a lot of different components bundled under communications. District improvement goal number 2, I do consider still in draft form. As I mentioned during our school committee workshop, next school committee meeting, Dr. Panarisi, our new executive director of student services, will be presenting her entry plan and presenting some of her high priorities. And so I do think we might want to hold off on approving the final goals until we've had a chance to see those top priorities. But I do think it's important to look at the continuum between MTSS and special education. We've talked a lot about breaking down the silos between gen ed and special ed. And so this goal will be really about the interface between MTSS and special education, continuing to use our data practices to ensure that we're diving into student subgroups. And really, my role will be to support Dr. Panarese as she is onboarding, to support her in the development of her entry plan, and help her navigate that collaboration between general education and special education staff. As part of that, we are already beginning the work of deepening communication and collaboration with our CPAC, and already had several productive meetings and engaged with the broader parent and caregiver community. Third district improvement goal, I've joked before, may the roof above us never fall in and those beneath it never fall out. Roofs are going to be a major talking point this year, and along with that, our HVAC project. And so this goal will center around the need, messaging the need to the community, but also, with any luck, navigating the MSBA process, navigating the needed town funding, and all of the logistics that would be associated with that. And so for that, we'll of course be working closely with our business and facilities department, and they'll be setting some related goals around that. And then finally, district improvement goal number 4 regards continuing to look at our central office processes. So we do have a very slim team, and so need to be as efficient as possible, really look at our processes. And so we'll continue to refine those HR and payroll functions to promote efficient onboarding, timely personnel action, efficient and accurate payroll processing. And we'll continue to have a focus on professional development for our business office, particularly the HR and payroll processes, to ensure that we're continuing to refine that.
All right, great, thank you. So you want to hold off until, for the,
I think we could hold off until that, and then there may be some slight refining. I would say that all of the goals are, at this point, in a fairly final form, but in case we wanted to tweak a bit that second goal around the MTSS and special education, and really make it even more specific with regard to the immediate one-year action steps for that.
That's good. Yeah, thank you for adding the communications goal too.
Sure.
I think it's a real strength of yours, but it's something that we're always going to be working on, so
Absolutely.
really appreciate it.
the only just thought that I have, in the student learning goal, because I know we talked about this last year and Jen mentioned it on Saturday, is because it says beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year, but we don't get the end of year until like the fall. But I wonder if we should just change that to say, analyze and presents the results of end of year, beginning of year,
Oh, yeah.
mid-year, because we'll do last year's end of year.
So
We get the end of year in June.
End of year MTSS data we have
We
in
will have
time.
it? Okay.
It's the MCAS, so you're right. I think if we remove the MCAS
Okay,
piece.
or take the MCAS. Okay.
Because it won't, the MCAS won't have been impacted
Oh,
by
right.
by the
Okay.
new materials. And so,
Okay.
but the end of year MTSS, we have that data by mid-June.
Okay,
Is
And
that in
so-
time to do the
is that
evaluation?
in time to do the evaluations?
Gotcha.
I think-
Good point. So we could, start with.
Yeah.
I think it's in time to do the evaluation. I mean, we don't really do the evaluation in depth till July.
Well,
Well, you start, though.
We- I think we're supposed to do it earlier, but I
Okay.
think we
Yeah.
extended it this year,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
But to your point, if we do end of year, beginning of year, middle of year.
So like the June presentation from last year counts for this one.
Sure, yep.
I understand.
Yep, we can
Okay.
certainly do that. And again, in a pilot year, we would not necessarily expect
Right.
wild swings in data during that pilot year, but just wanted to indicate that I do anticipate this being a 3-year goal. And so over time, that is the data that we'd be using to look at the effects of the program over time.
Yeah, great, okay, so we will table this and hopefully do it approve at our next meeting. Anything else on goals? All right. Item 6.2 is to discuss school committee goals for the 2025-26 school year and act as appropriate. So again, when we met on Saturday at our workshop, we went through the school committee goals, and the next item, the school committee functions, to update them. I personally thought this was great. I think we did a good amount of work on this, and I think we really tightened up and made sure that we had really measurable goals for the year. Does anybody think we need to go through them? No? Okay.
Can I just make one comment?
Yeah.
Before this goes on the website, can we fix the format? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it is a little bit different at each one. Okay, all right, well, if there's no additional discussion of those, if everyone's comfortable with what we drafted on Saturday at the workshop, I would take a motion to approve.
I will make a motion to approve the school committee goals for the 2025 and 2026, or 2025 through 2026.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nope. All right, those are approved, great. Let's see who's online. And then 6.3 is to discuss the school committee subcommittee functions and act as appropriate. So this is these are not the goals of the subcommittees, but the functions of the school committee, like what is their role within the committee and the district. And these, I think, were updated as well, because I think the last time we updated was 2021, so they were a little dated. Any discussion on these? All right, I will take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the updated school committee subcommittee functions.
I'll second.
Any further discussion or any discussion? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Nobody opposed? Okay, great. Thank you. Moving right along. New business. 7.1, to discuss out-of-state athletic trips and act as appropriate.
Yes, thank you. So both of the trips before you this evening are annual trips that you have approved in past years. And so the first of the trips is for the high school cross-country team. They are headed to Warwick, Rhode Island, to Goddard Park for a cross-country meet.
Any questions or comments on this?
And the second trip is also a traditional trip. The high school crew team will be headed to Glastonbury, Connecticut for a crew meet.
All right. Any question on that one? All right, do we want a motion?
I will make a motion to.
Can I ask
oh, yeah,
a
go ahead.
question on this? What, did we change something around these? Like, what was,
Basically that if something came up that wasn't timely enough and it's something that you had approved in the past, that I would approve.
okay, and this,
But we're putting them.
because it's timely, or
and
not,
so-
or?
Yeah, so
got it.
we were
Thank you.
allowing some time for those
Cool.
last minute ones, yeah. But this one we.
All right.
I will make a motion to approve the high school cross-country team field trip to Warwick, Rhode Island on September 27th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right. And then the next one?
I will make a motion to approve the high school crew team field trip to Glastonbury, Connecticut on September 27th, 2025.
Second.
No discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody, all right, awesome. And then the Model UN?
So this is another trip that is a perennial favorite. Catherine Black, who is a high school social studies teacher, will be taking 20 students to participate in the Harvard Model UN conference in January. It is, I believe, 2 overnights, and students generally get a lot out of this conference. It's a really, really interesting opportunity for them to see what, real-world diplomacy looks like.
I was going to make a comment about that, but I'm going to keep it to myself. All right, any questions on the UN trip? All right, I'll take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the Model UN trip on January 29th through February 1st, 2026.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, we're all set. Thank you very much. Hello, John. All right, we are moving right through this agenda tonight. We are on 7.4 to discuss policy KE.
Enrollment?
Oh, sorry, I skipped that over, thank you. To discuss an enrollment update.
Terrific. As we've previously discussed, we're taking a very close look at enrollment trends as we begin the process of projecting staffing and budget planning for next year. And as the committee is aware, last year we commissioned a NASDAQ enrollment study to support our enrollment projections. And so the September 1st enrollment data that's in your folder is actually very consistent with the NASDAQ enrollment projections. and we were comparing the year-over-year September 25 to the September 24 enrollment. The projections were really spot on. So of particular note for this year's enrollment is the relatively large kindergarten class with 279 students enrolled in 2025 as opposed to 256 last year. And so that was a big jump. So this is consistent with the NASDAQ projections, which noted increases in birth rates and inward migration trend. We similarly saw an uptick in grade 1 enrollment in September 25. So last year, we had a kindergarten cohort of 256 students and added 12 additional students to that number for grade 1. And for elementary, would also just note that grade 3 currently has the largest district-wide enrollment of any K-12 class with a class size of 308. At the middle school, there was a net increase of 18 students with a total enrollment of 819 in September 25 as compared to a total enrollment of 801 in September 24. Of particular note is that we had a very large grade 6 class incoming at HMS that has a class size of 296, and so that was in part due to that bump. At the high school, we have a total enrollment of 1032 this fall, which represents an overall decrease of about 35 students. This is due in part to the relatively small grade 9 class of only 245, which is replacing an outgoing senior class of 263. And then just wanted to make a note with regard to the pre-K enrollment. It's important to know that that number grows throughout the year. So we generally start the year at around 65 students or so, to 65 to 70. And students requiring services age into the pre-K program throughout the year. So that number tends to grow, and we would anticipate upwards of 95 students in the integrated pre-K by the end of year. The only other points of note on the enrollment data here are out-of-district students. We have 48 students currently. We have 9 students who are homeschooled in the district, and we currently have 4 students enrolled in a voc tech, 1 at an agricultural Aggie school.
I think, sorry.
No, please.
Just anecdotally, both Aisha's son and mine, who are in 7th grade, will be happy to see this data because they both said the same thing after the first week of school. There are so many 6th graders. And we're like, "Oh, they were excited."
No, they
But
did.
There actually are.
They
so
are right.
they're
Very
just-
observant, yes, it is true. And so we'll plan for those bubbles over time.
Does the district keep any, like, numbers, are they easily accessible of kids who choose private school?
That was my question, too. That is a bit trickier in that Sherry does collect data from private schools, but it depends on the
Yeah.
private school cooperating. And so, and our students go fairly far and wide, so it becomes increasingly challenging.
Right, it'd be interesting if there was a way, but I don't know if that there is a
We
way, to
could-
see if there's sort
yeah.
of the percentage of kids families who choose other options or remain consistent, or if that's growing or shrinking.
Yes, so years ago,
Yeah.
through the census data, we have done that, and so that is something we could consider doing going forward. That also depends on the reliability of
Yeah.
data coming back. But
I mean, so it really wouldn't be worth doing, more than once a year, but just to, year by year, to see.
Do we have any sense with the grade 9? Is that just a smaller class, or do we have a sense, or are there more families choosing to go to private schools?
I'm sorry, for
grade 9?
So grade 9 was a smaller class. So I did look at, I don't have it on me, but
It's like a consistent number.
that has been a consistently small class, so it was a very small 8th grade as well. So we
Okay.
did not actually, we are finding that with more private schools, having 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, that is actually where, between 6th and 7th tends to be where the biggest bump is, as students are enrolling in private schools for the first time. Back in the day, it used to be that 8 to 9 jump, but it tends now to be earlier. So we don't see as much loss between 8th and 9th as we do either between 5th and 6th, if it's a school that has a 6th grade program, or between 6th and 7th.
Matt, do you have the?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers look pretty, because I was encouraged by this just in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we've been kind of for pretty much 5 or 6 years losing, and we had a big loss obviously during COVID, and then it's been kind of trending down by about 100 overall. Now, that's a variety of factors going into that, but this is like effectively level. It's you know, all this netted out to like 18 less than last year's total. So that's super encouraging. And I looked, there was 258, it looked like last year, at one point in 8th grade, to 245 this year. Again, I know there's other things going on, people moving out, people moving in, but that was pretty consistent in terms of what we'd seen leaving from 8th to 9th, and similarly 6th to 7th. So like, it didn't feel, again, I know it's not a perfect, there's a variety of moving parts, but probably the biggest, you know, when the number moves, is probably largely because of people choosing private school, and it looked pretty consistent. So it's not like expanding.
Absolutely, and we were, very gratified about the increase in KN1. So you know, families are choosing Hingham, and also gratified those middle school numbers are higher, and also appreciate that the NASDAQ study was spot on, and so I do feel even more confident using that in our projections going forward.
Yeah. Thank you. Did anybody else on the committee have? I was just going to, before I recognize someone, I was just going to note that is interesting, the kindergarten data, because if you've got 279 now, and then we typically see 10 to 20 coming into first grade, that will also be a big class. And then looking at these individual class sizes, I mean, there's many that we're bumping up to the 24. And then, I mean, there's really very few that are in the high teens here. I mean, 1 or 2 that are 17, but they're mostly in the 20 to 23s.
Yep. And there are definitely some, we have, to your point, little wiggle room.
Right.
And so there are a few that, we're very much tracking for.
All right, thank you. All right, I see Brian Stack. You had your hand raised? Hello, Brian. Oh, and Ariana's here too. We're going to unmute you in a second.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can, yes. Hi,
Yes.
Brian.
Okay, simple question was the overall breakdown of enrollment by, if I could use the word program, could you give me that? Regular, sped, in district, out of district, and total?
So this does not break out special education by grade level. This is just our total enrollment. In a future presentation, when Dr. Panarese is presenting about her entry findings for special education, we can do a deeper dive into that number. We do have, though, for out of district, we did list that is 48 students. That's in the bottom right-hand corner of the enrollment projections. But this is just the total student count in our buildings. It's not broken out by
Okay, so out of district was 48, and if I could just ask, what was that in June?
So we did have a number of students graduate or age out over the summer, and so that number is lower than it was in June.
Okay, I had 56, is that close?
Yes. Yep, so we,
Okay.
I think it was 7 or 8 students, so a number of students either graduated from high school or aged out at 22. And that number
Okay.
for out-of-district students as they turn 22, age out of the program. And so that is not a fixed number, that out-of-district for 48. We would anticipate that number fluctuating throughout the year. And so when we do an enrollment presentation, we'll continue to update that number, but 48 is not a fixed number.
Got it, okay. And so for the other, in-district and what used to be called regular ed, we're going to wait on that and revisit that
So
maybe a little bit?
this enrollment data is our annual September, just number of students in the building enrollment. This is a historic template that we've used for many years. The special education data we can present as part of Dr. Panarese's entry.
Okay.
Can I clarify something for Brian? We asked about the different enrollment numbers in the separate regular ed and special ed
These are all
programs.
students, yeah.
Right, these are all students. All students are, like, what special education is students on an IEP who receive some number of special accommodations or services. But all students who are in special education get most of their services through general education. So it's not really separate programs.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I qualified myself when I
I'm sorry.
said what used to be called this and that.
Yeah.
Do you have a total enrollment number just to conclude?
Yes, so the total enrollment is 3,599. However, I would just caution, if you're comparing that to June as opposed to last September, that number, because for pre-K, we start the year at 68 to 70 or so students, we purposefully leave spots for students in preschool who age in to our program at age 3. In the same way that out of district, those numbers change throughout the year, we purposefully plan for 20 to 25 additional pre-K students to join us. And so the current number there does include the fact that we will be projecting that number to increase by 20 to 25 students for pre-K.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Anything else on enrollment? No? All right. I did notice, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Ariana. I noticed that our new student representative, Ariana Sood, is on the Zoom. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the school committee. We're very excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. We just got our new senior co-chair, Caitlin Manning, as well. And I think she might be joining a little bit later on because we had a field hockey game. But I'm really excited for this year.
Great. Thank you. We're excited to have you. Welcome. We did do some communications earlier, and I know it's your first meeting, but did you have any student communications for us this meeting? If not, we can start that next time.
We are actually having our first meeting on Friday.
Okay.
So I don't have anything for you this time, but I'll definitely have some notes for you the next time we have a school committee meeting.
All right, great, thank you. All right, well, welcome again. All right, we'll get back to our regularly scheduled agenda. All right, item 7.4, to discuss policy KE, public complaint. This is a second read, so we can act as appropriate if people are ready.
Perfect, yep, we had this one last time for the first read. It is KE, public complaints, and there were some very minor changes to the language suggested by MASC, but also in discussions with Katie and Erica, we added in some language about the proper channel of complaints, just to add for number 4 and number 3 within there, superintendent or the assistant superintendent, so there was a little bit of flexibility as needed. Those are the only major changes, if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, I just had one. And the collective bargaining agreement with the Administrators Association
Yes.
talks about complaints and references the superintendent doing the investigation, not either or. So I guess that's the one.
I did talk to Dave Dewitt about it just to get his input, and he said that
They're okay
he
with
was,
it.
yeah, he was comfortable with it being superintendent or assistant superintendent, because in most cases that would be what normally happened.
Great, thank you for doing that.
Great. Any other questions?
And actually, Carrie, I can't remember if this had come up before, but just to that point too, we discussed maybe changing it to superintendent or designate, and they said that actually they'd be more comfortable with it being assistant superintendent.
Okay, great.
All right. Awesome, thank you. All right, if nothing else, I'll take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve policy KE, public complaints.
I will second.
Any discussion? Any questions from anybody in the public? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right, that policy is approved. Thank you, Ally.
Thank you.
All right, item 7.5, to discuss the Hingham High School theatrical agreement. Sounds right up my alley.
Yes.
And act as appropriate.
Great. Well, Aisha sends her apologies for not being able to join this evening, and so I'll be sharing her memo with regard to this bid process. So there was a formal process followed for putting this project out to bid, and so we will be looking to upgrade the theatrical lights, sound, and rigging in the high school theater. So the bid did initially receive some interest, but in the final analysis, there was a single bidder for the project, Barbizon Sandoval. And attached in your folder is the project scope of work. And what we're hoping for this evening is that the school committee will authorize the superintendent to execute the contract. And the total project cost is $535,000 to be completed through the capital account. So previously budgeted for. And Aisha always does include the wording for the vote that's needed at the bottom of the memo. So that is here.
All right, yes, thank you. Any questions on this? No. I think I would say that the amount of the project definitely reflects the amount of work and how far past due we are on the sound and lighting at the high school auditorium. So that's great. And I think while this is called a theatrical agreement, I think it should be noted that this is used at the school, it's used at town meeting,
Dance recitals.
dance recitals, rentals.
Professional development presentation.
Yep, so I mean, that auditorium gets a lot of use, and that sound and light quality really will be a massive improvement district-wide and community-wide, I think, as well. So,
Hopefully allow the high school to use it more and not have to go to middle school.
yes, absolutely, yes. Okay. Well, if no questions, then I would take a motion.
Okay, and thank you, Aisha, for.
Yeah.
I will make a motion to award the contract for site preparation and installation of the Hingham High School theatrical light, sound, and rigging improvement project, and to authorize the superintendent to execute the contract on behalf of the school committee.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Great. All set there. All right, 7.6. Oh, it's the most wonderful
Yes.
time of the year. It is the fiscal year 27 budget calendar. Wow, started
Yeah, so
already.
the school year no sooner begins that we begin planning for the next.
Yes.
And so, as we typically do, we take the first couple of weeks of September to enjoy the start of the school year, and then very quickly jump in with both feet into budget season for the following year. And so in a typical year, our leadership team would begin in late September and early October to begin some of the goal setting and priorities that the school committee has indicated. The proposals are assembled using an inclusive process, seeking input from staff of each department. There will then be some individual meetings of each department director with myself and Aisha Pong, our Executive Director of Business and Support Services. Then in late October, typically a quarter one update is reviewed with the Finance Subcommittee. And then in November, we really dig in and start to winnow down the budget priorities and any reductions or efficiencies that will be required. The first week of December, Aisha Opong will submit a preliminary budget for my review. The principals at that time will begin to seek some input and continue to refine the budget with the school councils. We also in December have a tradition of doing a facilities tour for our advisory school committee and some of our town partners. And then in January, that's when everything really begins in earnest, and there is kind of a flurry of meetings between January and town meeting. So I think overall, that's fairly typical of our traditional calendars, and open to any feedback that you might have.
I am assuming that we're going to stick with the format we've used the last couple of years to incorporate the budget meetings into our regular Monday meetings versus,
That would be my suggestion.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
And we have on occasion needed to add an additional Thursday meeting
Yep.
if needed, but we will try to keep the agenda light for January and February for any other presentations in order to focus in on budget.
All right.
It looks like
I hope
there's
that's-
one, which is totally fine, just for clarification, it looks like already one Thursday, I mean, there's two within 1 week, so, which is, I actually kind of like having, I mean, I love having these meetings.
It doesn't.
But I do think having, but it looks like the two main components within a 4-day period is actually pretty helpful, because I think in the past, at times, it's sort of spread out, and then we've had to,
Agree.
it's hard to sort of have the full picture
Pick up the
until
thread,
you look
yeah.
at the full picture.
Right.
So having both in that 1 week, I think, is a good suggestion.
I'd rather have it on the calendar now, and if we don't end up meeting.
Yes.
Right,
Than trying to figure out a time.
exactly.
Uh,
I mean,
just-
John, I hope you're not disappointed that we used to have them on Mondays and Thursdays in January, but we're trying. Sorry, Tim.
I'm looking at this year, one thing that's on our agenda is probably preparing some warrant articles. I see that the deadline for the warrants is on here. Is that a separate process, or is that in here, like the process for preparing the?
This is more of the operational.
Okay.
Budget, and the preparation of the warrants will in part be dictated by the direction of MSBA, and so, but the warrant articles are a parallel
Okay.
process to this, but this focuses more on the operating budget calendar.
And then the only other thing, which is really, there's no possible way you could have worked out the details since our Saturday meeting, so I know that's fine, it's not on there. We talked about doing possibly an October facilities tour as well. I don't know if that would.
Yeah, so let me revisit with Aisha.
Okay.
That as well, so we could amend that,
Okay.
the calendar.
That's a real nitpicky,
Sure, yeah,
like,
thank
you
you.
know, that's not,
Yeah.
No,
I
but
just didn't want that to get lost.
while we're in the weeds, though, you just reminded me of something, and this is probably silly, but we should probably put on the calendar the submission of the letter from the school committee and the superintendent to the warrant,
Yes.
the annual
Oh,
report.
yeah.
Because we
Crept up
literally, that, every year, we're like, oh, no. how did we
Crept up
forget
last
that?
year,
So maybe we should
submission
put
of
it on
letter.
the calendar. so we don't
Yeah.
forget
Great
it.
Yes, thank you. Submission of the letter to the warrant, yes. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Notification to the HEA, would that be something that's on there?
Oh.
The
that's a good-
notification dates, just so we don't lose them?
Yeah, do we want to add the notification date to the HEA if there are going to be any layoffs? Like if there's a
We can do
reduction?
Let them know by April 15th, right?
April 15th.
Just
yeah.
while we're making sure we don't miss dates.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else on the budget calendar? Okay. It says act as appropriate. Do we need to adopt this calendar? I don't think so. Okay, all right, because it will change.
Yeah.
What we know is that it will change. All right. All right, then 7.7, grants and donations.
Terrific. I believe we have our World Language Director, Stacy Turner, on the line.
Sorry, Ms. Turner, I would have put you up earlier.
Yeah, that's okay. And so she's going to share some information about a DESI grant.
Yes, thank you so much, and hello, everyone. So in June, I applied for the first time in my role for the DESI FC 189 grant and went through that application process, and just recently found out in the last couple of weeks that we were awarded the funding. And with this funding, this will allow us to continue the standards-based testing via the STAMP exam, which we conduct in the winter generally for some of our seniors, and then in the spring for grades 8, 9, 10, and 11. And Again, the grant is allowing us, the funds are allowing us, aiding us, and informing us of our practices within the World Language Department, both teaching and learning. And the projection is to continue stamp testing with our 8th graders through 12th graders to track the data as we've done for several years now, and excited to be awarded the funding.
That's great. Thank you for putting that grant in, and well done on your first try.
Thank you. Yes.
Any questions, Ms. Turner?
Is the stamp language assessment, will the results of that be communicated back?
Yes. So I have in work in progress the results from last year's exam period, both for the seniors as well as the 8th, and then 9th, 10th, and 11th at the high school, that I am preparing to present to you all in the coming weeks, the results from last year, and then I will collect the data as we encounter the testing for our seniors in the winter, as mentioned, and then in the spring, once I can complete the spreadsheet for our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, and we'll rinse and repeat for the following year with the results.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
And did you do this grant all by yourself, or you have any assistance? Because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yes. So I I reached out to, of course, Erica Pollard is my predecessor, and she is a wonderful mentor who was able to guide me on certain steps. Although I believe she can probably speak to this, some of the questions were entirely different from, I think, the previous year or years. So that sort of threw me for a loop a bit. So I enlisted the help of Tejal, who was instrumental in helping me with some features within Aspen that I was not able to access ever before in my career. So that piece was extremely helpful in calculating the particular breakdown of demographics of what DESE was requiring on the application. And aside from that, it was really just a tracking the data that I had collected from the seniors last winter in January of 25, and then just maintaining some of my own knowledge and experience as a teacher, being able to answer the questions to the manner in which they required.
So DESE uses this grant application. Obviously, part of it is the grant application, but on the other end, there's an expectation that you're providing them with data in return. And I will say that the application that Stacy filled out this year was much more extensive than any of the ones that I filled out in her position, that really required a deep breakdown of subgroups and an analysis of the scores in that way. And she did a really nice job with it, as evidenced by the fact that they've invited her back to have another grant this year.
Yeah, I just wanted to applaud the work you've done. Grant writing is very hard. Getting grants is very hard, and this is the type of initiative that we should be encouraging, and happy we got.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, thank you. I will take a motion.
Okay. I will make a motion to accept the Massachusetts DESE grant for the fiscal year 2026 FC 189 proficiency-based outcomes in languages other than English in the amount of $19,993.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right, congratulations, and thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well done. I think that was the only grant. All right, and then item 7.8, we have some surplus to approve.
Yes, so the Food Services Department would like to declare as surplus a deli unit from the high school.
All right. Any questions on the 10-year-old deli unit?
So what is a deli unit? Just out of curiosity.
I assume it's for slicing meat.
I
Right.
was assuming from my days.
Sorry.
I think it's the slicer.
Yep.
That's tonight's gotcha question.
Exactly.
Yep. I don't cook, so.
I know. Yeah, I think it's the slicer, but I could be wrong. All right, do you want to make a motion?
It's the whole
Oh.
table piece.
It's, okay.
Oh, it's,
Oh.
oh, it's the like,
The whole,
like the refrigerated thing? Okay.
table
Nah,
piece.
I don't want to keep
You want to keep that?
Erica wins the prize tonight.
Go to the gardening club or something.
Repurpose it. I will make a motion to declare surplus the food service equipment listed below that are damaged and irreparable, and to authorize the Director of Business and Support Services to dispose of them at the least cost to Hingham.
Second.
Any more discussion? All right, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's
No?
opposed.
Great. We are, oh, that is approved as well. Okay, awesome. All right, item 8, subcommittee and project reports. If anybody has any. John, anything?
Nope. I
Matt?
do not know.
It's early days.
Nope.
Tim? Carrie?
Salary negotiations will be meeting with Unit E on Tuesday, September 17th. Hingham Education Foundation met on September 9th. I wasn't able to do it, but I will be there at the next one on October 14th.
Wednesday, September 17th, yes?
Yes,
Okay,
sorry.
nope, no problem. I was like, I hope that was, okay, good.
Yeah. Nope.
Human Rights Commission is meeting tomorrow night.
That's what I
I'm
heard tomorrow.
famous for coming back and forgetting.
All
but-
right, thank you, because I was like, wait, I have something else tomorrow night. And that's
Yes.
what I have tomorrow night. All right, thank you. Anything else, Carrie?
No.
Okay, thank you. Hallie?
Hingham Arts Alliance is meeting on the 21st.
All right. Do we have a policy date?
Not yet, I'll talk to
Okay.
you after about that.
Okay, perfect. I don't have anything either, other than the Foster School Building Committee, which will continue to meet.
Yes.
Until every little thing is done. We're 98% there. There's just some landscaping, irrigation things to wrap up, but that's it. Okay. Any, item 9, any other items within 48 hours that were not known before? No? All right. We had on the agenda to adjourn to executive session, but my understanding is we do not need that.
That is correct.
Tonight. So with that, I will just note that our next full school committee meeting is Monday, September 29th, 6:30 at Town Hall again, and then Monday, October 6th, again at 6:30. Tonight, we just met a little earlier, given the Foster School opening. But that is it. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:55 PM.
Well done.
Thank you.